what we will be doing is basically to use QuickBooks to accept multiple currencies, or basically to set up the QuickBooks company file to enable multi-currency. By default, QuickBooks will only accept a single currency, and in this case, QuickBooks being a US program, the default currency will be US dollars. However, I am going to show you how to change the default currency to Jamaican dollars, and also how to set up the relevant exchange rates when accepting non-Jamaican dollar payments, are also when you're making non-Jamaican dollar payments. So we are going to go ahead. First thing we need to do is to go to company, and we are going to take a look here, and as you can see, the only thing enabled there is learn about multi-currency and multi-currency resource center. So what we are going to do now is we are going to go to edit, and we are going to go into preferences, and from preferences what we are going to do is to look for multiple currencies, and there we have it, and we're going to select company preferences. Basically what it will ask you here is, do you want to track multiple currencies in this company file? By default it's saying no, I use only one currency. So you are going to say yes, I use more than one currency. So once we have selected that, you will get a dialog box basically saying that you are about to turn on multiple currencies, and it is important that you back up your company file. Well, we are not going to back up this company file right now, but when you are doing it, you should, because once you have changed or turned on multiple currencies for your company file, you will not be able to turn it off. You will not be able to revert to just accepting one currency. So basically we are going to go ahead and turn on multiple currency for this company file. Okay, so we are going to select yes, and we're going to choose our home currency, and basically you will only see 4 currencies when you initially select the drop down menu. However, if you select view more currencies, you will see a long list which should include Jamaican dollar. So we're going to look for Jamaican dollar, and you can also just type it and it will come up. So select Jamaican dollar, and those currencies are inactive. We're going to make them active, or that particular currency we're going to make active. Other currencies that weren't listed were not there because they were inactive. So we're going to make Jamaican dollar active. That is simple because Jamaican dollar is not really a widely used currency. It's only used in Jamaica. However, US and Canadian and the British pound, and also the euro is a more global currency, a more widely used currency. Well, QuickBooks is going to warn you that you have selected a non-US dollar home currency. And that is simply because if you are using QuickBooks in the US, you could simply allow your bank to connect to QuickBooks, and this allow QuickBooks to connect to your bank, whereby you could download your bank statements directly to QuickBooks. Therefore, your bank reconciliation is basically a seamless process. All transactions are imported in the software, and which makes it very easier to reconcile your bank account. So we are going to select yes for this, and we are going to select OK. QuickBooks is going to close and reopen with the relevant settings. So basically the company file has closed and have reopened. Okay, so what we are going to do now is basically go back to company and look at manage currency. And here we have a number of other options. Before we did what we have just done, we could not download the latest exchange rates from the internet. We could not use our currency calculator, and we could not use home currency adjustment. Neither could we see the currency list. Right, so before we were only seeing learn about multi-currency and multi-currency resource center. What we are going to do now is to go to our currency list, and then we are going to put in the exchange rates. But for now we are only going to use to put in the rates for United States dollars. Select United States dollars and double click. Basically you get a screen similar to of the Jamaican dollar earlier, but because the Jamaican dollar is our home currency, you won't get the exchange rate part of it, because that is actually what we will be converting from. We are converting from Jamaican to US. So we are going to put in the date. These dates date would be, for instance, we say July 8th. Or let's say July 31st. we use this date, better yet, if we use this date, let's use a past date. So we're going to use June 30th. And as at June 30th, the exchange rate was 115. We will select OK. There you have it. As at the 30th, the US dollar is 150. However, when you are doing your transactions, you try and use the closest date as possible, the most recent date, the currency value at the most recent date. So if you are doing a transaction today, it would be advisable that you use the exchange rate as at yesterday for accuracy. So we are going to try and do a transaction just to see if our currency will be converted to US dollar. So we're going to try and do an invoice. So we're going to go to customer, create invoice. It is very important that you know that you cannot do an invoice in US dollars to a Jamaican customer, or a customer that is created as a Jamaican dollar customer. So for every currency you accept, you'll have to create your customers in that currency, and the customers will pay you in that particular currency. Not all your customers are going to be paying you in US dollars. So the most important thing is to identify the customers who pays you in US dollars and create those customers as US dollar customers. So we're going to create a customer by the name of John Brown. QuickBooks will ask whether this customer is a Jamaican dollar customer or this customer is an other currency customer. So we're going to select US dollars and we're going to select Quick Add. Automatically it will show the exchange rate here, which we have inputted as at June 30th, or $115 Jamaican to 1 US dollar. Once this invoice is created, it will automatically converted. All items on the invoice will be converted in US dollars and presented to the customer in US dollars. Customers are more confident when they have an invoice in their currency. So we are going to select the items for this invoice and let's say we have students who pay in US dollars for their auxiliary fees. Basically, the auxiliary fees is 7,500, which is converted to be $65.22. And let us say there is one other item that is added to the invoice. Let us say that this student also wants to pay for exams. So we'll add this item, CSEC. We could call it CSEC fees. Let's say based on the number of, let's say this child is taking 8 subjects at 3,500 per subject. And I mean, those figures are hypothetical. I'm not aware of the prevailing rates for CSEC. So that's a hypothetical figure. Basically, it will not convert the amount if you input the amount on the invoice like this, because this QuickBooks do not know whether or not this item that you are inputting is US or Jamaican dollar. We're going to remove this from the invoice and do it another way. We're going to create this item. We're going to edit this item to basically, as you see there is no price for this item. So we are going to attach a price to the item. Once there's a price to the item, QuickBooks will do the conversion to US dollars. If there is no price, the conversion will not be done on the invoice while we are actually creating the invoice. We're going to go back and we are going to go back to our invoice and we're going to select CSEC, and this time around we have a conversion. And we just need to select 8 because the child will be doing 8 subjects. There you have it, the total $308.66 US dollars, or 35,945 Jamaican dollars 90 cents. So basically I'm gonna do a preview for this invoice. Preview should actually show the invoice in US dollars. There you have it. All the items are shown in US dollars. However, in accounting, you can only record your transactions in one currency. So even though you are accepting funds in multiple currencies, your transactions are recorded in your home currency. So in our general ledger, all our general ledger accounts will have the Jamaican equivalent of these amounts. So we're going to take a quick look at one particular account in our chart of accounts, and this account is the accounts receivable account. The register will have US amounts. However, when you look at the actual reports, you will see Jamaican amounts. So here we have it. Transactions in foreign currency registers cannot or can't be edited directly in the register. This is just a register. So we're going to look at it, and there you have one transaction for 308 US dollars. We are going to actually look at our accounts receivable US dollars on our balance sheet, and we should be seeing Jamaican equivalent. So we go to company financial, and we go to balance sheet standard, and if you look at accounts receivable US dollars, you should see the Jamaican equivalent, because you will report in local currency. So we can zoom in to this 35,000. It should actually take us to a more detailed report. And we can also zoom in to the actual transaction from here. So in essence, QuickBooks is very versatile as it relates to accounting in multiple currencies, or accepting and making payments in multiple currencies.